Home business and nonprofit owners impacted by this summer's severe storms and tornadoes are eligible for hundreds of thousands in loans to fix up those properties for businesses that could be in the millions. The U.S. Small Business Administration is offering people who own or rent home and businesses that were physically damaged in the severe weather on June 11th. Disaster assistance through the Disaster Assistance Program. Homeowners are eligible to receive up to $500,000 to help with repairs, and renters can get up to $100,000 with interest rates as low as 2.8%. Business owners and nonprofits are eligible to get up to $2 million, and an SBA spokesperson says it goes beyond the physical into economic loss or other business owners who lost customers or business.
One community may not have been affected as far as physical damages, but with the revenue, it trickles down and affects everyone, whether they know it or not.
People can apply online, over the phone for physical damage loans until September 8th. Businesses and nonprofits can apply for economic injury loans until April of next year. We'll have more information on our website at 25newsnow.com.